Well, I'm a professor of computer engineering. I joined the American University of Beirut back in 1985. And since then, I've become a full professor in computer engineering and took up some administrative jobs as chairperson of the Department of Electrical and Computer Engineering, and later as vice president for regional external programs at AUB, which basically represents the consulting arm of AUB within the region. And through that office, we make use of a large pool of consultants at the American University of Beirut, of over 2,000 consultants in hundreds of different specialization areas, to form consulting teams that allow us to efficiently and quickly establish higher education institutions, whether universities or colleges, in the private as well as the public sector within the Arab region, whether in the Gulf or North Africa or the Middle East.
Excellent, thank you. We're seeing massive changes in society in the region. How does it affect higher education, you think, right now and maybe in the future?
Well, there's no doubt that the unrest is deeply found in the Arab region, which has caused what's referred to sometimes as the youthquake, is founded into many determinants and elements, including the age groups, percentage and absolute number of population under 25, the inflation factor and so on, but also issues related to higher education. There are quite a few problems in the higher education sector, whether public or private, in the Arab region. A lot of these are common to, a lot of these problems are common to quite a few countries within the region. We have discussed in this panel some of the problems and some of the solutions pertaining to higher education in the Arab region.
What do you think can we learn from each other, like European higher education institutions and the Arabian higher education institutions?
Well, I come from, although I'm educated in Europe, I received my undergraduate and graduate degree from universities in the UK, culminating into a PhD degree in computer engineering from the University of Bath, which is now, this year as it happens, is the University of the Year in the UK. I work in an American institution, so I have both sides of the coin, so to speak, the European approach and the American approach. I strongly believe in the benchmark we promote at AUB, which is the liberal arts education model that provides students with a general education component regardless of their major, and it provides them with the breadth that is needed in terms of social sciences, in terms of humanities courses, in terms of language courses, communication skills, sciences courses that are needed and that constitute part of the 21st century skills, and that provide a well-rounded personality for graduate students, in addition, of course, to the depth in the specialization field depending on the major. So, in my opinion, this has been a successful model, as such, has been adopted many years ago at AUB, and therefore the model that we have been using in promoting universities in the region. Over the past decade or two, we have either established or helped already established universities in something like 15 or 20 countries in the region. We have been very successful in a lot of cases, including, for example, the American University of Sharjah, which is now very similar and a competitor to AUB, I might add, in more than one way. So we've had several successful projects in the region.
Where do you see, at the beginning of your presentation, you came up with these biggest problems or biggest obstacles and also some solutions in the region. Could you wrap that up for the viewers?
Well, there are quite a few problems. Probably, if I want to choose the main one, is that I understand that the Arab region has been, the population has been exploding. It has increased from 230 million to 320 million over the 10-year period from 1998 to 2008, which basically meant an increase of about 3 million to about 7.2 million students in higher education. So I understand that we have to address issues of quantity, but in my opinion, not at the expense of quality, which is what's been happening over the past decades. This is an ongoing issue that has been addressed in some of the institutions, private as well as public across the region, but we have a long way to go to make sure that accreditation, whether at the institution level or at the programs level within universities, is taken seriously, and as such that we graduate well-rounded personalities that are in tune with the market needs, and that as such would be graduates that would be welcomed in the 21st century economy in the emerging markets, and that these students create jobs for themselves, not just fill jobs that are existent. So there are quite a few problems. This is probably one of them. Of course, the solutions would be to raise the level of awareness, which is a joint effort between the ministries of higher education as well as the public sector, which they oversee, to ensure that this is a priority for these institutions, that it is not enough for them to simply get the necessary or provide the necessary conditions for starting a university, but also ensure that they are in tune with state-of-the-art needs in higher education as they go along, rather than let go and simply address issues of quantity at the expense of quality. So this is a pivotal issue that needs to be addressed in all institutions. And as far as I'm concerned, in Lebanon, as the Minister of Education and Higher Education, I was appointed a few months ago. I am hopefully I will be suggesting to the government a law that would establish a national council for quality assurance that would address this very issue for higher education and for universities.
Excellent. What do you think, like brain drain is a big issue in the region as well? From a broader approach, what do you think can be done against that?
Well, again, the opportunities are not available for all of the graduates because of the fact that there is no career guidance. You tend to have a lot of students going into specific majors such as medicine and engineering, for example, but very few going into other areas in social sciences and humanities and so on. So that's true. We have a lot of people that actually leave the area because there are no opportunities for them, opportunities that should be made with the emerging economies in the region.
What do you think, or what is the key to success for international partnerships between European and Arabian